Go meet. Said. PogChamp.
Go meet.
Mr.G themer made. Said. GX.
Hey, Mrs. J. Hey, Google. Play that Mr.G shit. Hey, Google, hush.
Mr.G themer made.
Mr.G, Mr.G, Mr.G.
Welcome to Mr.G's class. Come on in and take a seat. Meow meow.
Mr.G, Mr.G, Mr.G. He's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Americana writer, got no education.
Countryman.
I said him while streaming
Said.
on a Hawaiian vacation.
I'm actually on time today.
White Levi's
Aloha, countryman.
covering his femur until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr.G, 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 Mr.G. He's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr.G, 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 Mr.G. He's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer.
Countryman. Said. Hey Mr.G, how was your Monday, dude?
I've been very productive today. I'm just getting everything set up right now. And then I'm gonna go out to eat later tonight. It's still only one something away.
Americana writer, got no education. I met him while streaming on a Hawaiian vacation. Unworn white Levi's were covering his femur until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr.G, 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 Mr.G. He's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr.G, 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 Mr.G. He's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer.
Countryman. Said. Quick question who sung this tune, LOL.
This is by a streamer sings this. His name is Young. He does the Chatter Church right now.
Sounds like Young. Stay _hydrated 6969. Said 5 more men, let's go. Countryman. Said IS ha 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 ha. Countryman. Said yet I knew it.
Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G,
Young doesn't look too good these days. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Stay _hydrated 69. MRG.
Until he covered
Stay
them
hydrated,
with
thank
coffee
you for the
and
donut.
creamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average
I've been a mod for Young for a long time.
Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G,
Stay _hydrated 6969.
gone IRL streamer.
You're welcome, brother. Thank you from streaming. Stay _hydrated 6969. Said 4. Here's J. Beamerman. Said
Mr. G,
party popper.
Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. He's Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G,
Flash Grizzle.
Mr. G, Mr. G. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Americana writer, got no education. I met him while streaming on a Hawaiian vacation. Unworn white Levi's were covering his femur, until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's
You
your
can send
average
Mr. G
teacher,
Moses and Iago packages to 1170 Iguanu Avenue, PO Box 37305, Honolulu, Hawaii 96823. Countryman. Said. I just told Young you were playing this, ha ha ha. He laughed.
I play it before every class.
Said. For a good time, join Mr. G's Discord. https://discord.gg/gsgjuasm. Stream elements. Said. The new merch is here, PogChamp, check it out. https://mercage.streamelements.com/mrg_live. Countryman. Said. See just tells ya that I've never been on the minute before, LOL. Said. Help Mr. G with the donation through Stream Elements. https://streamelements.com/mrg_live/him. Countryman. Said. I've always been like 3, 5, 10, 20, 40 minutes late.
Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. He's Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr. G. Mr. G, Mr. He's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. He's Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G. He's your average teacher, gone IRL streamer. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G. Gone IRL streamer, Mr. G, 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 Mr. G,
Mr. J. Mermaid said, woman dancing light skin tone, man dancing light skin tone. Mr. J. Mermaid said, that top tango. Nice. Alright, one more.
Hi, I'm Mr. G. Welcome to my class. Hey Google, play some Mozart.
Stay underscore hydrated 6969.
Stay underscore hydrated, stay underscore okay there, slash.
Stay hydrated, gets a bell. Thank you, stay hydrated. How is everybody today? Mrs. J? Countryman? How are you guys doing? Good?
Mr.
Today-
J. Mermaid.
We're going to be learning about the great state of
Aloha.
Missouri. And I'm not just going to
Countryman.
tell you about it, I'm going to show you
Sit.
it.
This will be fun. Arkansas, one of those states I really don't know anything about other than they've got a raging boar population that's even worse than the black bears in Maine.
I'm
They
sorry,
break into
Arkansas
cabins,
was Friday.
houses, and businesses destroying everything.
Today,
Countryman.
Countryman, we're going to
Sit.
be learning about the great state of
I'm
Missouri.
doing okay today here. Thanks,
Missouri.
Mr. G.
So,
Countryman said, I gotta change title. Missouri nice.
oh
Brandt
shit,
and
you're right,
Learn
you're right, you're right. I have to
LOL.
change the title. You're right, you're right.
Nightbot said, at Mr. J. Mermaid dash the stream title has been updated to join Mr. G and the live class right now. Today's class is on the state of Missouri.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I don't know. Thank you, Mrs. J, for updating the stream title. If you were the one that did that, thank you. Okay.
Stay underscore hydrated 6969.
Stay underscore hydrated. Is he around?
I haven't seen him for almost all year, since the beginning of 2020. I haven't seen him. He's on the mainland. He's not in Hawaii anymore, so I don't really hang
Dream
out with
Elements.
Britain or JR anymore.
Said,
I have new
the new
people
merch
that I
is
hang
here,
out with. I
PodChamp,
haven't-
check
I
it
haven't
out.
brought them on stream yet.
https://merch.streamelements.com/mrg_live.
Right after class
live.
here. I'm going to change clothes into, my protective gear. I'll probably leave my contacts in, I suppose. But I'm going to go out to eat again, and you all are welcome to join me. So the first thing about Missouri is the spelling. To spell Missouri, you spell it Miss, M-I-S-S-O-U. So I just think of like Miss Oklahoma, like Miss OU, Oklahoma University. Today we're learning about Mizzou, the University of Missouri, which is one of the top schools in the United States. It's actually the top ranked journalism school in the United States. And if you know anything about Mr. G, he received his degree in journalism, but apparently I didn't receive it from the top school in the United States because Missouri is the top school, the top journalism school in the United States. But I received my J school degree at the second ranked journalism school in the United States, which is the University of Texas. Okay, so Miss OU, Missouri.
Day _
Missouri.
hydrated 6969. Said. Screw Missouri hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns. Well, actually, I'm from Texas. I was born and raised in Texas, and I graduated from the University of Texas. I wrote a book about it. I was looking at it earlier, so I thought I'd pull it up. This is my book, Gonzo Education. It's available at a bookstore near you. Get another look at it. Yeah, so I graduated from the second-ranked journalism school in the United States.
J. Themer made. That. Check out Mr. G's book on Amazon.
Thanks, Mr. J.
https://smile.amazon.com/gonzo-education-gregory-brandt/dp/179867375/rep.
Yeah, give it a look. I guarantee that you won't be disappointed. Nobody that read my book has been disappointed. Some haters wrote fake reviews in there, trolls, but anybody that actually read my book really does enjoy it. With that being said, we're learning about the state of Missouri today. Missouri has about 6 million people. It's 18th in
You can
population
send Mr. G,
and
Moses,
25th in
and
area.
packages to
So it's right in the
1170
middle.
Nuuanu
And if
Avenue,
you look on a
Box
map,
37305,
Missouri
Honolulu,
is
Hawaii,
pretty much right in the middle of the
96823.
country, too.
J. Themer made. Said. Sorry, I need to make shorter links.
Oh, it's
LOL.
okay. Yeah, I know you can. There's a way to do that in Amazon. It's you send it like you're gonna send an email, then you copy and paste it from there. So if you look at Missouri, Missouri is known as the Show Me State. That's actually not its state logo, though. The state logo, believe it or not, is the health of the people should be the supreme law. The health of the people should be the supreme law. I'll write it on the board in a second here. I just wanted to show you, class, if you look at Missouri, other than Kentucky, Missouri has more neighboring states than any other state. There are 8 different states that touch Missouri, just like there are 8 different states that touch Kentucky. And it's pretty much right in the middle of the United States, and that's why I said it's the 18th most populous and the 21st in area. So it's right in the middle of this country, and it's also middle in population and middle in area. So, I put my new Instagram on the screen there. If you guys want to follow me, anybody wants to follow me at my new Instagram, feel free to do so. It's not like I'm going to stop you.
Said. Help Mr. G with a donation through Stream Elements. https://streamelements.com/mrg_live/hip.
So, Missouri, like I said, there's the Show Me State, but the expression, but the slogan, every state has a logo, and the logo for Missouri is the health of the people shall be supreme.
Stream Elements.
Shall be the supreme law.
Said. The new merch is here, PogChamp, check it out. https://merch.streamelements.com/mrg_live.
So during the time that we're in 2020, at the end of 2020, I think there's 3 weeks left in this year. I thought this was a good state logo. The health of the people should be the supreme law. Has anybody in the class been to Missouri? The health of the people shall be
J. Themer made. Said. Yes. I only have 9 more states to visit.
Oh, interesting.
Countryman. Said. I have not myself.
I actually lived in Missouri briefly when I was 4 years old. When my mother had custody of me and my brother and our two twin sisters, she moved us. We were born in Texas, but shortly after we were born, she moved us to Springfield, Missouri, where she bought a house. And, she attempted to take care of her her four kids, her two sets of twins. We had a lot of fond memories there. If you check out one of my YouTube videos, a video I made
Day underscore
over a
hydrated
decade
6969.
I talk about that.
Said. Salus populi supremo lex. Good quote MRG.
If you look at the map on the corner here, Springfield, Missouri, it's closer to the western part of the state, near Kansas. If any of you attended the class we did last week on the state of Kansas, you'll know that Mr.G's mom is from Kansas. So that's one of the reasons she moved us to that small city, Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, it's relatively small. It's 168,000 people. It's actually the third largest city in Missouri. So similar to the last state that we covered, which was, what was it? Arkansas, yeah. Arkansas has like a couple major cities, and then it's spread out with small towns everywhere. Unlike other cities like Oklahoma or other states that we've covered, like Oklahoma, or what's another one? Utah. Generally, city centers have higher population density, at least of 1 million people. And the major cities in each state, even if it's a small state, generally have a lot of people. One thing I've noticed about Missouri is its largest city, St. Louis, only has 300,000 people.
Countryman.
That's barely
Said.
300,000 people.
I've heard Springfield, similarly to Joplin, is in a very, very bad area to get some nasty tornadoes, and a higher potential for catastrophic damage, compared to other cities like Oklahoma City and Wichita.
Yes, that's correct, Countryman. I remember there was a big tornado scare when I was a little kid.
Like that specific area is super susceptible for some reason.
Yes, exactly. That specific area, you're right. I have a lot of memories from that area, probably over 100. Most people don't remember when they were like 3 or 4 years old. If you know one thing about me, I have a really strong memory, and I have lots of memories, at least 100 memories from when we were that time. That was the last time I actually had a black cat. Well, I guess it wasn't my cat, it was my sister's cat. Sister's cats. Anyways, back to the lesson. So I lived in Springfield, Missouri briefly. Once again, the largest city in the state of Missouri is St. Louis, and it only has 400,000 people. The reason I bring that up is because St. Louis has one of the highest murder rates in the United States. St. Louis has the highest crime rate in the United States. Sorry, Nelly, but St. Louis is the most dangerous city in the United States. Kansas City, Missouri, also very dangerous.
Dream Elements.
Missouri has a huge crime rate.
The new merch is here, PodChap.
And when you think about it, like I said, the population of St. Louis is relatively small. The population of Kansas City, Missouri, pretty small. Third up is Springfield, Missouri. And if I remember, that's a small town.
Newark, New Jersey up there too.
Yeah, Newark, New Jersey is up there. But moving on, some more things about Missouri before we get into the slides presentation.
You can send Mr. G, Moses, and Keanu packages to 1170 Nuwanu Avenue, PO Box 37305,
Harry Truman or
Honolulu,
Mark
Hawaii,
Twain.
96823.
I suppose they're about equal in their and how recognizable they are, I should say. Either Harry Truman, the former president of the United States. He was born and raised in Missouri. He was a farmer in Independence, Missouri. Oh, the capital of Missouri, I haven't mentioned, is Jefferson City, population 42,000. It's got to be one of the smallest capitals in the United States. Hey, Google, what's the smallest capitals in the United States, population-wise?
On the website worldatlas.com, they say Montpelier, Vermont, the smallest state capital by population. Do you want a little more context?
Yes. So Vermont has the smallest capital, but I mean Jefferson City, Missouri's got to be right there. 42,000 is not a large amount of people.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Hey Google, what are the smallest state capitals?
I found a list on the website worldatlas.com. The 10 smallest state capitals by population. Here are the first 4. Montpelier, Vermont. Montpelier, Vermont's capital, is the country's least populous state capital. Pierre, South Dakota. Augusta, Maine. And Frankfort, Kentucky.
Okay,
Do you
so
want to hear more?
no, that's enough. So Pierre, South Dakota, another state that we covered, that's actually the smallest state capital. But still, Jefferson City, Missouri, the capital, only 42,000. Like I said, the two most famous Missourians.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Hey Google, volume 8. Hey Google, what do you call somebody from Missouri?
On the website moving.com, they say, people who live in Missouri are called Missourians.
Yeah, always trust your instincts. So, the most famous Missourians are either Harry S. Truman or Samuel Clemens, aka fucking Mark Twain. Excuse my French there. So some of the foods you may have in St. Louis that are popular are toasted ravioli, hot salami sandwiches, and Provel cheese. What is Provel cheese, Mr. G? Well, Provel cheese, if you weren't aware, is a popular type of cheese in the St. Louis area. It's a mix of different cheeses, and it's processed.
I love toasted ravioli.
Yeah, I have some ravioli in the fridge. But tonight we're going to have a very special meal.
Said. Help Mr. G with the donation through Stream Elements.
Provel cheese is the choice cheese in particularly St. Louis, Missouri. And there's something called St. Louis pizza where it has Provel cheese on it. Hey, Nico.
Said. Mr.G in the house.
Aloha, Nico. Welcome to class. Take a seat. We're just in. It's going to be a somewhat short lecture today because I plan on doing another eating IRL stream right after this class here. So let's go ahead and get into the slide presentation now that Nico is here. All right. So let's learn some fun facts about the great state of Missouri. Well, the state bird of Missouri is the eastern bluebird, and it has to be one of the more prettier birds that we've covered, in my opinion. The state flower is a mouthful, and I couldn't find a nickname, but the state flower is Cradugus punctata, believe it or not. More fun facts about Missouri. Where did they get the name Missouri? Well,
Stream Elements. Said.
Missouri was named after the Missouri River.
Check it out.
The river's name came from the Native American Pelini tribe's term for people with dugout canoes. Well, let's learn some fun facts about Missouri. Well, Mark Twain grew up in Hannibal along the Mississippi River. He actually was born in a small town called Florida, Missouri, currently population 0. No joke, look it up. His boyhood experiences inspired him to write the book The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and its sequel, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. St. Louis is built atop a network of natural caves which serve as an improvised refrigerator, as well as hiding place for slaves who escaped via the Underground Railroad. The Missouri is known as the Show Me State, but it was also previously known as the Cave State. The ice cream cone was invented at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904 when an ice cream vendor ran out of cups and used a rolled-up waffle. there's a famous quote I like. It's necessity breeds invention. So the need for an ice cream cone invented the ice cream cone.
Chris J. Themer made. Said. Best invention ever, LOL.
Only 12 countries participated in the 1904 Olympics in St. Louis. The games lasted almost 5 months. Out of 280 total medals, United States won 239. Archery was the only event out of the 86 events that were finished rather quickly. One reason was for this because they had at the same time concurrently the 1904 World's Fair and the 1904 Olympics, both held in St. Louis, Missouri. So, I mean, they were just asking
Chris J.
for
Themer made.
problems.
Said. Wow, 5-month Olympics.
It's known as the worst
That's
Olympics
interesting.
ever. It was the biggest scar on the state or city's history.
I really like the food series where you walk around Hawaii and review local joints.
Okay, well, you'll like the IRL stream coming up on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube, maybe Mrs. J can put a link in the chat. The first successful skydive from an airplane was completed in St. Louis, Missouri by Captain Albert Berry in 1912. So just a couple more fun facts. Missouri and Kentucky are the most neighborly states, each bordered by 8 states.
Said. One thing that's definitely true, similarly to how New Jersey was the crossroads of the Revolution, Missouri 100% without a doubt was the crossroads of the Western Front. St. Louis was like Ellis Island for the pilgrimage during the Homestead Act. Everyone passed through it, LOL.
Yeah, right?
Chris J. Themer made. Said. Sub to Mr.G on YouTube. https://www.youtube.com/.
In 1981, a man who had been bullying residents of a small Missouri town was murdered in broad daylight. When 46 townspeople rose up against him in an act of vigilante justice, no charges were ever filed despite there being 30 to 40 witnesses to the shooting. I think it was the Sundance Film Channel did a show on this called In Broad
Before
Daylight.
the Intercontinental Railroad was completed, it was only New York to St. Louis for decades, LOL.
Yeah, St. Louis was the place to the west. You're right, countryman. And I think they said at one point everybody had to go through St. Louis. I'm going to show a picture, a slide coming up here of a train, and it shows the amount of people when they first opened the rail line from St. Louis. So, but this right here, recently there's been a mini-series on called In Broad Daylight, and it's basically about this town bully that got lynched by the townspeople.
Up the United States Mint there to mint coinage. No joke.
So this is a picture, since you brought that up, countryman. Here's a picture of the St. Louis Railroad. It broke the record
New Orleans had a mint at the time
for the most people ever on a trail, on a rail line, when they first opened the rail in St. Louis.
Stream elements.
Okay, back to the fun facts.
The new merch is here, PogChamp, check it out. https://
There's a city named Licking and a town named Butts in the state of Missouri. I mean, you got to know that to graduate.
Countryman. Said. LOL.
You know you're from Missouri if you think potted meat on a saltine is an hors d'oeuvre. Directions to your house include turn off the paved road. Jack Daniels makes your list of your most admired people. You know you're from Missouri if your family tree is a straight line. You know you're from Missouri if you've ever worn a tube top to a wedding. Oopsies. All right, some more quick facts about Missouri, or as some people call it, Missouri. We learned about the ice cream cone. We learned about the canoes. We learned about how 8 states touch it. Missouri was the 24th state admitted to the Union in 1821. We learned about the capital being Jefferson City. The point of highest elevation in Missouri is Tomsuck Mountains, and it's only 1,700 feet. And soybeans is one of the largest cash crop in Missouri as well. All right. So we were talking about the largest cities in Missouri. I'll show this graph for you guys right here. So the largest city in Missouri is St. Louis. It's on the far right there. And then Kansas City is on the left. So both of the major cities in the state share part of the cities with other states. So St. Louis is, there's an Illinois side. And then over there on the west, they share Kansas City with Kansas. So it's kind of like, but if you look at the map, those are the two biggest cities. But there's smaller cities, dots, all on the map, all around. So there's small towns throughout Missouri. And that seems to be quite common with the older states here. Every older state that we've had, the major cities have had less of a population, and there was more small towns. So I guess the longer time a state has to exist, the more small towns build up. So speaking of existing, this graph right here, this shows the map of the United States in, I think, 1820. And as you can see, Arkansas wasn't even a state yet. Michigan wasn't a state. Wisconsin isn't even on the map, but Missouri was a state in 1821.
Yup. Super old.
Texas wasn't a part of the United States. Texas was part of Spain at that time, but this is where the United States was when Missouri first became a state. I remember there's an episode of The Simpsons where Grandpa Simpson is joking about not recognizing Missouri as a state. And it jokes that he goes back to all the way to 1821 when Missouri first became a state. So apparently Grandpa Simpson just recognizes all the states east of Missouri. Now, during a couple lectures ago, I said that I've never been east of the Mississippi River. I take that back. I have been slightly east of the Mississippi River because if you look on the western side of Missouri, that's the boundary. That's where the Mississippi River is. So even though Springfield, Missouri is just east of the Mississippi River, it is indeed east of the Mississippi River. The boundary with Kansas and Missouri is the Mississippi River. Or it comes up that way. All right. Another river while we're talking about rivers. This is the Missouri River.
Chris J. Themer said, "This is cool to see how different it was."
Mm-hmm. So this is the Missouri River. As you can see, it's barely even in Missouri. It starts in St. Louis, but then it goes all the way up to the Canadian border, up to North Dakota and Montana, all the way up there. And it goes through, I think, 6 or 7 states. It's one of the America's top rivers.
Said, the new merchants
only second to the Mississippi River.
https://
So St. Louis is a small city. There's only 300,000 people in St. Louis. So, they used to have a football team. They have a baseball team that's very popular, which is rare.
A bunch of times.
It's rare for a small market team to have the kind of draw as the St. Louis Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals are actually one of the most popular. The St. Louis Cardinals are actually one of the most popular teams in professional sports. And other than the San Antonio Spurs, I don't know of any team that's not in a major American city with multiple millions of people that has a kind of draw like the St. Louis Cardinals. So when I think of the San Antonio Spurs, I think of the St. Louis Cardinals. Once again, I don't watch sports anymore. I think it's a waste of time. But in my younger years, I did watch a lot of sports. Not necessarily baseball, but basketball and football I did watch a lot of. So back to the slideshow. Once again, we mentioned soybeans. Soybeans are the #1 cash crop in Missouri. So they say, despite what I was saying about Missouri, they say it's one of the best places to live. But don't believe them. Believe me.
Eichmann said, you can send Mr. G, Moses, and Keanu packages to 11.
A few more fun facts about Missouri before we get to famous Missourians.
Honolulu, Hawaii, 96823.
1 in 4 Missourians are physically inactive. 1 in 10 have diabetes. And they have an 83% graduation rate compared to 75% nationally. 25% of Missouri smoke, which is a little higher than the national average. National average is something like 20%. So, you know, they're, or 21% apparently to this graph. All right, so that's enough about fun facts about Missouri. The last thing that I'll put up one more slide, and this is some of the famous places you'll see in Missouri. Busch Stadium, we saw that slide already. The Gateway Arch, obviously. They have the Missouri Botanical Gardens. I'll show you a picture of that. Anheuser-Busch, also known as Budweiser, is located in Missouri. And those are some of the fun facts of Missouri. Okay, once again, I put my new Instagram on the screen here. You guys are welcome to follow it. Also, if you guys haven't checked out my website, I have a really in-depth website. If you want to know more about Mr. G, you know, you can see the website. It's actually on the screen. I changed this slide.
J. Mermaid said, check out the GX network, https://gx.
Thank you, Mrs. J.
Countryman said, Anheuser-Busch World Headquarters are in Newark, New Jersey, and they've got one in St. Louis. LOL. Pretty funny, right?
Oh, okay.
Some of the most dangerous cities, yet they're in M.
Yeah, that is kind of funny, right? I don't support drinking at all. I think it's one of the worst things somebody can do. We haven't gone over the flag, so let's look at the flag real quick. So that's the Missouri state flag. It has 2 bears. And it says something, you know, we stand, I don't know what it says. See if we can get a better picture. All right, so it says, united we stand, divided we fall. Did they make that up?
Wonder if Missouri even have a lot of bears. Figure they'd have Hawks Bane close to Arkansas.
So I told you I lived in Springfield. When me and my brother Michael were kids, our mom used to take us to this place in Missouri called Silver Dollar City. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but they had this train ride that was very memorable for us. And they staged a fake train robbery, and me and my brother, we were the victims of the robbery.
Said, the new merch is here, PogChamp, check it out.
But it was a real fond memory. Despite being so young, we remember it really well.
/MRG_live.
Now, I said the University of Missouri, it's the top-ranked journalism school in the United States.
Countryman.
This is something that they're known for.
LOL, that sounds badass.
The University of Missouri University, it's known for these pillars at the entrance of their campus.
Said, show love one, show love one, show love one.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. J.
Show love one, 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 show love one.
Thank you very much, Mrs. J. Aloha. So I put another link to my not a link, but my website on the screen there. Thank you for the bits there, Mrs. J. Every little bit helps. Get it? Every little bit helps. All right.
J. Mermaid
So,
said, Party one party one party one.
Thank you, Mrs. J.
One party one party one.
So
party,
this
one
is
party,
the
one
part of the
party, one.
program, the part of the lecture, where we see famous
Bruce J.
people
Femur made.
that are from Missouri.
Sit. Uni one.
Aloha. Thank you, Mrs. J. Shout out to Mrs. J and shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, and I go live every day on Twitch, or Monday through Friday on Twitch with a new class in a new state. Once we're done with all 50 states, we're going to start on each country.
Cheerwell one, 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 cheerwell one.
Thank you so much, Mrs. J. Aloha. Thank you. Okay, so back to the lecture. This is the point of the lecture where we talk about famous people who are from Missouri. So we already mentioned Mark Twain and this guy, Harry S. Truman. He's the only president ever to use a nuclear bomb during wartime. He used two of them, one on Nagasaki and one on Hiroshima.
Country map. Set. Maybe do the Canadian provinces as well.
That's a good idea. Somebody else from Missouri is the great Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke, also known as Richard Van Dyke, but some people just like Dick.
Country map. Set. The great Dick, ha ha ha.
Now, somebody else from Missouri, popular time traveler, Samuel Beckett, also known as Sam. And Sam, he's from the future. He travels throughout different points of his life to make wrong what went right, or to make right what went wrong, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to Al. Sam wanted me to say that. Also from Missouri is this guy. I'm not sure who he is, but he definitely looks like an asshole. Also from New Jersey, this guy, who I heard is, it's actually supposed to say gay and cheap. That's what he's known for. He's known for being gay and cheap.
Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen, yes. Steve Homo McQueen is known to be cheap.
You can send Mr. G, Moses, and Keanu packages to 1170 Nuuanu Avenue.
Also from Missouri,
305 Honolulu.
this guy,
96823.
Dan Connor.
Said. He's awesome.
Dan Connor.
Said. That's what's his face.
Dan Connor.
Countryman. Said. Big Lebowski actor, right?
Yeah, his name is Dan Connor.
Said. Steve McQueen is awesome, not this guy. Stream Elements. Said. The new merch is here, PogChamp, check it out. https://mercage.streamelements.com/mrg_live. Countryman. Said. And he's in that shitty Blues Brothers 2000 film. Stay _hydrated 6969.
Yeah, his name is Dan Connor, but his real name is
John Goodman.
John Goodman.
Countryman. Said. Yeah, John Goodman.
So,
Said. That dude.
all right, yeah, that dude. So, once again, we mentioned some of the top food of Missouri. Hey Google, tell me a Mark Twain quote.
The first two are kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see, And whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. I have 61 answers in total.
Go on. Whenever you find yourself with majority, stop and reflect. So I was going to have a few Mark Twain slides, saying some of his famous quotes. Like I said, we're running a little fast today because I'm going to do something right after this. We went over the flag. The flag is right here. It's red, white, and blue to represent France. Because once again, Missouri, just like Louisiana and just like Arkansas, they were a part of France up until 1806, before Napoleon, yes, that Napoleon, sold what is like 10 different states, 9 different states, I think, to the United States. Orchestrated, what's the verb I'm looking for? Put together by George Washington, an elder George Washington. So George Washington definitely had his hand in that deal with Napoleon. They must have been buddy, you know. That's a short film I'd like to see. George Washington hanging out with Napoleon. I don't think they ever met, but they had to have communicated in order to get that deal done. So that's why red, white, and blue is on the flag.
Of course. They were all Masons.
Yeah.
Met. They 100% met.
That's crazy. That's cool. During that time. So, a few things about Mark Twain. He was born in 1835, shortly after Halley's Comet. And Halley's Comet comes every 79 years. I was actually born very similarly right after Halley's Comet. And Mark Twain always said he came in with the comet and he would leave with the comet. And he spoke correctly because he was born right after Halley's Comet. And then the very next time it appeared, 79 years later, he saw the comet and he died. And I guess maybe that's how I'm going to go too. Hey Google, how often does Halley's Comet appear?
About every 75 years.
Okay,
on the website space.com, they say, Halley's Comet is arguably the most famous comet. It is a periodic comet and returns to Earth's vicinity about every 75 years, making it possible for a human to see it twice in his or her lifetime.
I remember it. I was a little boy. When was the last time, hey Google, when was the last time Halley's Comet came?
1986. On the website solarsystem.nasa.gov, they say, Halley was last seen in Earth's skies in 1986 and was met in space by an international fleet of spacecraft. It will return in 2061 on its regular 76-year journey around the sun.
International spacecraft? I didn't know that. But I remember being a little kid and I was in a crowd. And I couldn't, and it was late. It came late at night. And I saw it. I remember the sky getting bright, but I was a little kid. And there was all these big people around me and I was trying to see. And everybody was like, oh, and it only lasted a few seconds and everybody was making such a big deal. And I couldn't get a look, you know? So even though I was there at the thing, so if that's the case, then I guess I can see when my time to go is. Because I have a feeling I'm going to be like Mark Twain. And I'm going to go right after it came.
The new merch is here, PodChamp. Check it out.
Let's see when the exact date I'm going to round time. Hey Google, when's the next time Halley's Comet comes around?
On the website space.com, they say, Halley's Comet is arguably the most famous comet. It is a periodic comet and returns to Earth's vicinity about every 75 years, making it possible for a human to see it twice in his or her lifetime. The last time it was here was in 1986, and it is projected to return in 2061.
So, 2061. So,
I'm very late.
Hey Cody.
Start time confuses me.
I know all this week it's going to be a 2 o'clock start time, the same start time. That's why I'm not going to change it because I don't want to confuse anybody. And next week is a short week. It's just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then the next week after that's a short week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Have you talked about Jesse James yet?
No, I haven't talked about Jesse James. Jesse
No,
James
sorry for you then.
was from Missouri.
LOL.
He was part of the crowd that was rebelling against. Well, I didn't talk about the Civil War really. He was part of the post-Civil War crowd that sided with the Confederacy. Jesse James was a hardcore racist, and he hated the Union.
True, man.
Missouri played a big part in the
Both
Civil
sides
War.
of the front.
They had both sides of the front. Some of Missourians, some of them fought for the Union side, some of them fought for the Confederacy. That's where you had the term brother against brother. Some of the major battles happened in Missouri. It wasn't only the gateway to the West; it was the gateway to the majority of the battles in the Civil War. And the Civil War was the bloodiest war in the United States history. So not mentioning Missouri's part in the Civil War. And Jesse James, the Wild West outlaw, was a part of the post-Civil War anti-Union, anti-North sentiment.
You can send Mr. G, Moses, and Keanu packages to 1117.
Once again,
box 37305.
the state of Missouri has 10 electoral votes. That's the most electoral votes of any state that we've covered so far. Missouri with its 10 electoral votes. It voted for Trump in 2016 and voted for Trump in 2020. It's a gun-friendly state where open carry is legal and concealed handgun is also legal. What else? The famous writer William Faulkner called Mark Twain the father of American literature. Probably the best compliment you can ever get. Mark Twain, even though he was born almost 200 years ago, think about it. Mark Twain was almost born 200 years ago, and he's still a household name. Everybody basically gets forgotten about, and Mark Twain, with his cynical attitude, probably, and his nihilistic attitude, probably would assume that he would have been forgotten about too, but he hasn't been. Some people just have that kind of charm. So, with that being said, I'm just going to end it on that note. If you guys, I encourage you to Google Mark Twain on Google Images and check out some of his quotes. I'm going to get changed and go take care of some different. I'm going to go do an IRL stream.
Mark Twain loved cats.
He loved cats. He did. One famous quote by Mark Twain is, "Any man who's a friend of cats is a friend of mine."
Good class.
Thank you. Aloha.
Countryman.
Thanks for being right on time, Countryman.
I enjoyed it.
Once again, I'm going to upload this VOD onto YouTube. So if you missed part of the class, you can rewatch it on YouTube. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And also, what was I going to say? Like I said, I'm going to have a IRL stream coming up here. Tomorrow, we're going to learn about the wonderful state of Iowa.
During a Halley's Comet and said he will leave on the next Halley's Comet and died within a week of it.
Yeah.
Miss J. The Mermaid said, "Thanks, Mr. G, for class."
You're welcome, Mrs. J. I really enjoy doing this.
Countryman said, "Tomorrow I have to see a family member, so I might not make tomorrow."
Okay, thanks for letting me know ahead of time. I'll let somebody, you can get the copies of the notes from somebody else.
The new merch is here, PogChamp, check it out. https://
So, yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the class. Tomorrow is a new state. We got to keep going through these states day by day. I'd like to spend more time on Missouri, but, we can't do that. Thank you. I appreciate all you guys. It's a wonderful stream here.
Thanks, Mr. G.
The haters are becoming so far and few between. They're finally realizing to just leave me alone and let me do my thing. Thanks, you guys. If you're not following me on YouTube or Twitch here, I encourage you to do so. And I encourage you to watch every day, Monday through Friday, You know, a lot of times you'll watch something on Twitch or YouTube, and when you're done watching it,
J__
you'll feel bad. You're like, why the hell did I waste so much time watching that? Thank you. You won't regret watching Mr. G. You won't regret coming to class. You'll learn something. It'll be quick, to the point, and you'll be a better person afterwards. So thank you everybody for attending. Uncle Meat, Mrs. J. We'll go ahead and raid. We'll raid somebody's channel.
Through Stream Elements.
And I'll talk to you guys later.
streamelements.com/mrg_live/tip.
Oh, actually, what we're gonna do is I'll end it with the we're gonna play the Missouri State song here. Or actually, we're just gonna raid it because I really gotta get going. So I'll talk to you guys later. All right? We're just gonna raid the first channel here. This person here. I'll talk to you guys later. Aloha, everybody. Don't forget classes tomorrow. And thank you, everybody.
Nice shirt, Mr. G.
Thanks.
Does it come in men's sizes?
Good one. This is a men's shirt. You see the buttons are on the right.
Moses G Keanu.
Don't you know that, kid?
Countryman. Sounds good.
You see, if the buttons are on the right side, it's a men's shirt. If the buttons are on the left side, it's a women's shirt. Don't tell me you don't learn anything when you come to class, kid. Okay? You learn something, all right? Listen to the smart teacher. You want to know the difference between a men's shirt and a woman's shirt? Men's shirt have buttons on the right. Women's shirt have buttons on the left. All right, guys. Everybody have a nice day. Aloha.